Hey guys, I just got back from seeing the new Superman movie, and I have to admit, it was very good actually. When I went into this movie, I had a feeling that I was gonna like it because simply I kind of like the way James Gunn does superhero movies. Of course, I've seen all three Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and he has done an astounding job. And I think he kind of did extremely well. And in fact, I think it was probably the best Superman movie I've seen in theaters. Probably on the same level as the original 1978 Superman movie. It's like Superman Returns was okay, not great. The Man of Steel was kind of, yeah, maybe, nah. And of course, Batman versus Superman was, that's, you know. I can tell you what, James Gunn can tell a better Superman story than Zack Snyder. I can tell you that right now. Probably because I don't have the patience to watch a 4-hour version of Justice League. Other than that, there's a lot of things I want to talk about, but I don't want to spoil it. You have to see it, but I can tell you, of course, Crypto is in the movie, and I love him in this movie. He is so funny throughout the entire movie. And I can't go into any details because I don't want to, ruin it for anyone else. So, but I can tell you there's the Green Lantern, which is probably the first time I've ever seen him on the screen. That version of the Green Lantern. I don't know what his name. I know his first name is Guy Gardner. I don't know if I said that right or not. Of course, there was Hawk Girl, which I thought was pretty cool. There was a character named Metamorpho, which I think started off as a villain, but I can't really. Well, I kind of spoiled it right there. Well, let's just say he does a major part in this movie. And, of course, the guy who played Lex Luthor was pretty cool, too. He was pretty ingenious. Of course, Lex Luthor is an ingenious supervillain. And Lois was okay. Jimmy Olsen was pretty good in it. I just think that this is a great movie. Also, Bradley Cooper was in this movie briefly, who did Rocket Raccoon's voice. Well, he plays Jor-El in this. But it's just a cameo, but still, it's kind of cool to see Bradley Cooper in another James Gunn movie. Also, James Gunn does make a Stan Lee-like cameo in this movie, which I thought was funny. I really approve of it. I thought the fights were pretty awesome. The special effects was pretty good. The story was kind of interesting enough. It kept me motivated. I didn't feel like I was getting bored at any moment. There was never really a slowdown part, which was the problem I had with Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. They drag the story on forever. But with James Gunn's Superman, I feel like, the story kept moving along. There was no, they didn't go on and on and on and on about it. Of course, it was like a 2-hour movie. So it pretty much told a decent story in a decent time. It was no 2-hour, 30-minute, 2-hour, 45-minute movie. To be perfectly honest, we really don't need superhero movies to be that long, especially people like me that have a very short attention span anyway. But other than that, I thought the characters in it were pretty good. I do like Crypto the Superdog. He was He pretty much stole the show. And Superman has robot servants that help him out in his Fortress of Solitude, which I thought were pretty cool. They were pretty cool. And Supergirl does make a small cameo in this. I'm not going to tell you when in the movie, but it's going to be kind of interesting. I really feel like, James Gunn can make a really good DC universe. I really do. Grant, I don't think he's going to direct every single movie, which that would be way too much for him. But hopefully, DC can bounce back, especially from the Zack Snyder years, and actually tell a pretty decent story, because I noticed DC over the years haven't been making the only good movie they made so far was like Wonder Woman. And I think this new Superman movie is going to open up a brand new world. It makes me wonder if maybe a Crisis of Infinite Earths is coming. That would be interesting. I would like to see that in future installments. I'm hoping this DC universe does well, but you never know. They could just scrap everything again and just do everything all over again. But of course, with Marvel doing their multiverse era right now, who's to say the Crisis on Infinite Earths isn't far away? Anyway, bottom line, Superman, really good movie. I give it 3.5 stars out of 4. Simply because the positives is, it's, keeps you interested. Lots of action, funny moments, which you would expect from a James Gunn movie. On the negative side is, they made a lot of choices that I kind of don't really understand. But they're just minor things, really. There's, But other than that, I can't really find anything really negative to say. But I just thought, everybody in the movie did pretty good, and I'm hoping this movie does well at the box office, and I hope that, DC will give Marvel a run for its money. But the thing is, I think a lot of people are getting tired of superhero movies. But I don't know. Maybe Superman can rejuvenate, the superhero franchise. And I hope DC goes in the right direction. Y'all have a good day.